D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds, and welcome to my weekend review where I come to you every Sunday with 3 entertainment stories that I personally find interesting, and then we discuss them down below. Now, also down below, you can find the articles that I read to bring you this video, and you can, check them out and read them for yourself, or you can just watch this video where I'm going to read them to you. Also, before I get started, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we just keep getting shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. All right, now that we got that out of the way, why don't we go ahead and get started on these 3 videos. So for my first story this week, all right, you guys, so I'm kind of excited about this because it looks like Freaky Friday is getting a sequel, you guys, and both Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis are on board. So this article comes from The Hollywood Reporter. Not the best rag out there, but whatever. So it says Freaky Friday sequel in the works with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. So the duo starred in the 2003 body swap comedy from Disney. Now, real quick, I mean, it's not very like a secret that Jamie Lee Curtis has been very open that she would totally do a sequel to this movie. And I don't know if you saw the movie when it came out. I saw the movie and it came out. I remember the song from it. It was this song called like Shut Up, and it's like don't wanna grow up and everything. And I just really loved it. It was excuse me. It wasn't like the best movie ever, but it was really fun. Anyways, all right, let's read this and let's check it out. It says, Disney is going back to the world of Freaky Friday. A sequel is in the works to the 2003 body swap comedy that starred Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. Lohan and Curtis are expected to reprise their roles as a mother and daughter who wake up one Friday and find they have swapped bodies. Eliza Holder is penning the script to the sequel. I'm curious as to exactly how they're going to do this, but let's finish this article and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. So it says Freaky Friday was based on Mary Rogers' 1972 novel and grossed 160 million globally, which was pretty good back then, directed by Mark Waters from a script by Heather Hatch and Leslye Dixon. Has remained a cultural touchstone, with Curtis referencing it during public appearances over the years. It has become synonymous with the body swap genre, spawning homages such as the Blumhouse horror film Freaky, which was okay. That movie was just okay. It says Curtis told the New York Times in a retrospective on the 2023 film that she continued to get questions about a Freaky Friday sequel while promoting her 2022 horror film Halloween Ends. Something really touched a chord when I came back. I called my friends at Disney and said, "It feels like there's a movie to be made," said Curtis. The potential Freaky Friday sequel would mark a return to studio filmmaking for Lohan, who in the 2000s was among the bigger young stars of the era. Remember when she had her albums? She had like 2 albums. They weren't that bad. They just, I don't know what happened to Lindsay Lohan, that poor girl. Anyways, well, not woman. Anyways, in her recent years, she has been making something of a career comeback with a 2-picture deal at Netflix that included the rom-com Falling for Christmas. Said Lohan to the Times of the potential sequel, "Jamie and I are both open to that, so we're leaving it in the hands that be. We would only make something that people would absolutely adore," which is totally true. I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, so here's what I think about this. I think this is a fantastic idea. I mean, like, why wouldn't you do this? I mean, you guys, like, it's Freaky Friday. Let's get rid of this. It's Freaky Friday. I mean, okay, so first off, the first movie was pretty good. Like, I didn't see it in theaters. I don't Yeah, I didn't see it in theaters, but when I did watch it, I did enjoy it. It's a fun, little silly movie. I love Jamie Lee Curtis; she's great, and I love Lindsay Lohan also. I mean, that woman is just a big bag of fun, in my opinion. She had that. Remember, she had that reality show where because she owns like hotels or something like that, and she had a bunch of people, and they were like. And then it got canceled like after what, like 13 episodes or some crap like that. I just remember it. It was really fun because yeah, but I think this is a good idea. Now, is this going to go to movie theaters or Disney Plus? Now, in all honesty, this sounds more like a Disney Plus movie, but Bob Iger recently did say that they were going to try to go back to the theatrical and then try to, move everything back down to, like DVD sales, although I don't know if those are going to be around forever. And then eventually it would get down to streaming on Disney Plus. So there's that. I also want to just say, I do hope that they stick with the theme of Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis swapping bodies. I don't want to see this whole, there's a granddaughter and she swaps a body, because I don't think, although they could do it to where they like swap bodies and then they just keep swapping bodies throughout the three. And that would be interesting. But I don't know how that would all work out and everything. So we'll see how this works out and all that stuff. Okay, so that is my first story of the week. So for my second story this week, this comes from Variety, and it's Beetlejuice 2, starring Michael Keaton and Jenna Ortega, to hit theaters in 2024. So this week, they announced a bunch of people for this movie previously. Let's read this article real quick, and then I'll go through the people that they forget to mention everything. So whether or not you say his name 3 times, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice is returning to movie theaters next year. Warner Brothers has announced that Beetlejuice 2 will be released on the big screen on September 6, 2024. It opens on the same day as Marvel's Blade, a comic book adventure starring Mahershala Ali. Otherwise, there's not much currently set on the release calendar in the surrounding weeks. Warner Brothers has fielded hits over Labor Day weekend for years past, with It and the sequel, It Chapter 2. It had, as well as The Nun. There's little information available about the follow-up to Tim Burton's 1988 film about a pesky poltergeist, but the filmmaker is returning with Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice and Winona Ryder as Lydia Dietz. Additional cast members include Wednesday star Jenna Ortega as the daughter of Ryder's character, as well as Justin Theroux in a yet-to-be-revealed role. Production is expected to commence in London on May 10th. Before I read more of this, I just want to say first off that I think that this is a fantastic idea. First off, Michael Keaton coming back as Beetlejuice is, so good. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but I love Beetlejuice, the first one. It's so good. It's like ridiculously good. Like I mean, it's silly and it's fun, and I love. There's like this big musical number where they're like Deo. Me say, and it's so good. I just remember as a child watching this movie, and I just loved every minute of it. It was so good, and I loved this world of like. It was like goth and everything, and I never had a goth stage or whatnot, but I just liked seeing like there was like that underworld, kind of like that dead world or whatnot, and I did enjoy it. They just recently added on what's her face? How she's from the Matrix movies. I can't remember what her face is. I'll throw up a picture, but they added her on there. Just give me 2 seconds and I'll look it up. But anyway, so it says Brad Pitt's Plan B producing Beetlejuice 2. Alfred Goh and Miles Miller, who worked with Burton on Wednesday, penned the screenplay. So I think that right there is also a good thing that you have the Wednesday show was pretty decent. I think that oh gosh, what's her face? Jenna Ortega, I think she did a good job. There wasn't an overwhelming amount of there. Like there was some stuff I didn't like about that show, but for the most part, I like that show. Some people that they forgot in this article because it's a little bit later, but they just recently added in Monica Bellucci, and then they also added William Dafoe today as of recording this. So So that's really interesting. So it says, it says in the first film, a recently deceased married couple played by Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin, we'll talk about them in a minute, are impossibly irked by a new family. Catherine O'Hara and Jeffrey Jones, played by the parents, and writer portrays their teenage daughter that moved into their home. So they contact Beetlejuice, a devious ghost from the netherworld, who promises God promises to help them haunt the the house's new inhabitants. A critical and commercial hit, Beetlejuice grossed $74.7 million and inspired a Tony-nominated stage musical after a 4-year run, which was interrupted by the pandemic. The show closed on Broadway in January. I never saw the musical. I'm not interested in that, but I can tell you right now, I loved this movie. Catherine O'Hara also is coming back. But two people that aren't coming back, and I think this is a misstep, in my opinion, is Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin. I know Alec Baldwin has become problematic because he, I know that a lot of people on the conservative side don't like him. But I personally separate art from artists. If I don't like Alec Baldwin, I would still watch a movie that he was in if it looked, like something I was interested in. I know also that with the recent shooting on the Rust movie, that has also plagued him. And he should have been charged for that, I think, but whatever, it doesn't matter. But I really wish they would have brought back Gina Davis also, because I love Gina Davis. Who doesn't love? She's a real man's man, if you get what I'm saying. But I think this is a great idea. I think that bringing back Winona Ryder and then Jenna Ortega as her daughter, I think is a really good idea. Justin Theroux, I don't know who he's going to play. I think William Dafoe playing some other kind of, demon or whatever from a ghost from the netherworld would also be pretty great. And then I also think there is a rumor that Monica Bellucci, that she's going to be playing Beetlejuice's wife. I don't know how I feel about that, but I would totally watch it 100%. And then also, I just think that overall this is a great idea, and I can't wait. And the fact that they got Michael Keaton to come back is great. He's going to be Batman in the Flash movie, and now he's coming back as Beetlejuice. Like, yes, please. I'm excited for this. So I think that this is good all around, and I'm excited for it, and I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. So that is my second story this week, you guys. So for my third and final story this week, you guys. All right. So it sounds like the Star Wars Acolyte show is gonna be pretty trash. I didn't doubt it from the get-go, but Leslye Headland just recently did an interview with Rolling Stone magazine, and it's not looking too good, guys. It's not looking too good. But let's go ahead and read this article. This is from Bounding into Comics. Let's check out this article. There's Leslye Headland. So it says, Leslye Headland confirms the upcoming Star Wars series, The Acolyte, will look into what's going on for all of us right now, which I think is a bad idea, but, whatever. So it says, the Acolyte creator, Leslye Headland, and former assistant of Harvey Weinstein, recently confirmed that the upcoming Star Wars series on Disney Plus will be a commentary on current American society, culture, and politics. So it's already DOA. So it says, in an interview with Empire Magazine that was shared to the Star Wars Leaks subreddit, which we'll check that out in just 1 second. Give me 2 seconds, you guys. Headland discussed the series, saying, when you're doing something completely original like we are, you want to question the status quo of the era that you live in. Do you really want to? I have more thoughts on it, but let me just continue with this, and then we'll talk about it, because I'm not saying that Leslye Headland doesn't have a solid idea here. It's just the way she's going about it. I have a good idea what it's going to be like. All right, she continued. What I think is so, what I love all of this crap. Remember when she was at Star Wars Celebration? She was like, you guys, like in the middle of whatever. She's like, you guys, Star Wars saved my life.
Star Wars saved my life. I know that
clap, 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 clap. I'm back to normal. What crocodile tears was that nonsense? Anyways, okay. All right, the Jedi really think they're right, and George Lucas tells us that they're wrong in Phantom, which I think that's okay. They missed a huge aspect of the dark side rising that just felt like fertile ground to look into what's going on and for all of us right now. I don't know how about the feel about the right now part, but I think that looking into the Sith rising up in the ranks, and the Jedi being wrong, I think that that's a good, solid idea right there. I just don't think that she's going to be able to pull it off, and I don't think that I just don't think this is going to be a good show. And just what people are saying, like, remember this guy right here, which this Charlie Burnett right here. Remember when he said at Star Wars Celebration when he was all like, well, in Star Wars, there's no really good or evil. It's just, whatever side you're on, you think you're right.
It's parts about Star Wars is there is no good or evil. Depends on what side you're standing on, truly. You know what I mean?
I'm all like, no, I'm pretty sure the Empire is evil. I mean, they blew up a whole freaking planet, dude, with billions of people on it. I'm pretty sure they weren't right at all. So I'm like, maybe if you guys watch Star Wars, maybe you would know what you're freaking talking about. And then I'm just gonna bring up this last little thing and everything. And I love how Jodie Turner-Smith, how she was all like, I play a character. She's a strong woman. No claps. It was like completely silent. And then she's like, she's a strong woman. She had to repeat herself. And then the crowd was like, yeah. And then she's like, yes, yes.
So my character, she's a powerful leader. She's a powerful leader. Yes. In a very woman-centered world, which I was very excited to kind of be in that, because I feel like Star Wars is very like patriarchal, so it was kind of cool to have like this sort of woman-centered figure.
And I'm all like, get the hell out of here. Nobody cares, Jodie Turner-Smith. Kick rocks. Okay, so anyways, all right, let me continue this. All right. Not only did Headland confirm the show will be a commentary on current American society, culture, and politics, but she seemed to imply the focus on the show being a female villains are self-inserts, which doesn't surprise me. And she says, when I was a young queer girl, that's another thing on this article. Like, it was just, I'm queer. Like, she just kept saying that. And I'm all like, yeah, we got it. We got it the first time you said it, honey. Like, you don't need to keep repeating yourself. So anyways, when I was a young queer girl, I was just hanging out with Ursula, the sea witch from The Little Mermaid. She told the outlet, as a queer girl growing up, if you don't identify with the heroes and the villains show up and they're all queer coded, you're like, yes, that's me. Which I just go, what? Okay, that's cool. Whatever. I mean, like, Ursula was designed or whatever after Divine, the drag queen, and that's fine. But I mean, like, but just because the villains are queer coded doesn't mean you have to be a villain. But whatever, it's fine. It's the villains are always better anyway. So I get what she's saying. Headland added, as a queer filmmaker, you're gonna see some camp inevitably, but I would say that tonally our references are darker. See, so like, listen, the camp thing, I don't know how I feel about that. Because if you're going dark, you can't really be camp. Like, that's the thing about Empire. Empire's dark compared to Jedi, which is not dark. It's very camp because you got the little Ewoks and they're all like, but the Ewoks are pretty dark. They were going to eat Luke and Han and them and Chewie. So maybe I guess you could mix it. I don't know. We'll see. I'll definitely watch it. Oh, here's that video where she said she saved my life. I already played it though. During an appearance at Star Wars Celebration back in April, Headland made it clear the series would be told from the perspective of the villains, which I think is a decent idea. I personally don't think that she can pull it off. I mean, if you watch that, what was that show that she had with the curly-haired lady, like Dollhouse or something like that? I can't remember. It was okay, but I didn't feel the payoff was very, like, all that great. Like, I was like, all right, it was fine, but it wasn't that great. The one show where she did, yeah, she did the one show on Netflix where it was like the lady, like, she just with the curly haired lady, and she just kept looping the same party where she dies at. And it was fine for like the first couple episodes, but like I don't know, it wasn't that great. Anyways, all right. She said, I think one of the things that would be helpful to kind of put in perspective is that we're at the end of that High Republic era and moving more into George's era of the Phantom Menace, which the High Republic sucks. I didn't read too many of those. I read a couple of the comic books. They're not very good. Okay. So my question became, as a fan, when I initially pitched the show to Kathleen, who, you know, is a great judgment of what ideas should be like, which was an original idea with new characters and not connecting to the Skywalker saga or any of the existing characters in the High Republic. Headland continued, what I wanted it to introduce the fans to, the concept to, was how do you reconcile the Jedi at the height of their power, the galaxy at the height of the age of enlightenment and peace, and who George says they became at the top of the Phantom Menace. And to me, that meant, why don't you tell a story about Star Wars from the perspective of the villains, of the bad guys? And if those bad guys are outnumbered at this point, then that means that you get this opportunity to see how the Jedi very subtly go from who they were in the High Republic and the Old Republic and who they became by the time they're watching episodes 1, 2, and 3, she replied. Back in June of 2021, Headland confirmed the series would be female-centric during an interview with YouTuber Fantastic Frankie. Fantastic Frankie doesn't look all that great, but whatever. She said, just because the show is technically, yes, female-centric, meaning it centers around a female protagonist, I don't think that necessarily excludes men from the space. Well, no, that's not what you've told us. You've told us, you have to be represented. So if men aren't in it, they're not represented. So it's not for me. That's what we've been told this entire time. That if you don't have, a female character in there, I can't see myself on screen. So therefore this isn't for me. That's what you've told us now. So I'm sorry, that's bullshit right there. She can go suck it. She won't though, because she doesn't like that. Headland would go on to explain, listen, I relate to the male characters all the time. Do you though? Because I don't know. If they're not queer coded, you're not represented, So it sounds like a lot of backpedaling. Like I root for Mando, like I root for Luke. I like deeply will not sure how much I care about Han Solo anymore. When I was little, I really liked him. When I watch him now, I'm kind of like, gosh, a lot of my psyche makes sense now. Okay. All joking aside, I think that inclusive space means an inclusive space. But at the same time, I think that just because something has a female protagonist doesn't mean it's only meant for women, she added. Listen, I get what you're saying, but you guys have been telling us the opposite of that for the longest time. So I don't know what to tell you guys. Look at this tall dude right here. He plays a Wookiee. But anyways, she went on to describe the series as a tent revival. I kind of see like if Star Wars is a religion, which I think we kind of agree for the purposes of this interview, it is. I like to think of my show as a tent revival. You can come over if you want to. We are going to be talking about some cool stuff. There's going to be some things we haven't discussed in canon yet. There are going to be some characters you don't know about. I would love you to join us. Okay, I'm not interested in this nonsense. Okay. The official description of the series, The Acolyte, is a mystery thriller that will take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. A former Padawan reunites with her Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes, but the forces they confront are more sinister than they ever anticipated. No official release date has been announced for the series. So all in all, I would just say this sounds pretty, I think this sounds like, I don't know, man. It sounds pretty DOA to me. We'll see. I'll watch it and cover it and everything because it's Star Wars. But other than that, I really don't think that this show really is going to be all that great. But I mean, If it's good, though, I'll tell you it's good. I'm not holding out hope. I'm just going to be like that. But we'll see, you guys. Sorry, I talked a little too much during this article. All right, so that is my third story this week. You guys, tell me, what do you guys think about all of this? How do you feel about Freaky Friday getting a sequel? I mean, do you think this is a great idea? Do you think this is a bad idea? Do you like Lindsay Lohan? Do you love Jamie Lee Curtis and all that stuff? How do you feel about it? I think this is a great idea. You know, I think that this is good. Let's do a sequel. Like they did Hocus Pocus 2. The movie wasn't that great, but I do think that it was good to do a sequel. But yeah. And we'll see how this turns out. And good for Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. Get that money, ladies. Tell me, how do you guys feel about Beetlejuice 2 with all these fun people and Michael Keaton coming back and, you know, and Jenna Ortega being introduced as Winona Ryder's character's daughter? You know, I know that there was a cartoon in the 90s that focused on like the netherworld, and it focused on Beetlejuice and Winona Ryder's character. It was an okay show. It wasn't my bag for most of the time, but I did watch it some. But yeah, how do you feel about this? Do you think it's great? Do you think it's bad? You know, are you going to watch it? I'm quite excited for it. I'm not going to lie. I think it sounds like a great idea. And then finally, how do you guys feel about this Acolyte show now that Leslye Headland has come out and said it's going to be very queer coded and very much, you know, what's going on with right now? It sounds like a lot of identity politics to me, which I am not interested in at all. It sounds like it might be very woke, which I just go, listen, I don't know, man. I'm just like not interested in that, but we'll see. I mean, I'm going to watch it. Like I said before, I just don't know how great it's going to be. All right, you guys, tell me what you guys think about all of this. You can go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. You know, I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on my next week in review. You guys have a good week. Bye.
Hey nerds, if you like this video, go ahead and click that Geek What icon and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and join me every Sunday with my Week in Review.